In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. So, to begin with, this video is going to be released a couple hours after my videos explaining why I started Walk with Word. On TikTok, it grew a lot in the first year and is still growing in the second year. I started YouTube a couple months after I started my TikTok. And so all my old content is up from the first year. So there is going to be a slightly different roster on YouTube also. You might have seen that I also posted long form content of reading the King James Version of the Bible, and in which I am still at the Gospel according to Mark chapter 3. Soon the other chapters will follow. I'm also working full time in my day job, so it's still a combination of working my full time job and my job as a content creator, as the face and man behind Walk with Word. I also say that I don't start this channel to preach, but more and more I see that I'm preaching the good news. So it's not a preach of you have to act like this or like that, but more my own walk from my spiritual burnout to God and preaching the good news on the way. And so you also will see a difference in content. Last year, so my first content here on TikTok and no YouTube Shorts is more of a feeling how and what type of content do you guys like. And I use guys as in a mean of male and female. So from today onwards, I will not use any other content types of creating chaotic videos like I did last year. From today, we are sticking to one chapter at a time, and I will give you all the 7 contexts or 6 contexts and the full overview. So starting on Saturdays, I will read the whole chapter, giving you the whole story of the chapter. Then on Sunday, I will move on to what I like to call the soul behind the chapter, which explains the key details, what the key component of that chapter is. Then on Monday, since I'm also working with my local priest on this, I will go deeper into theology, and which I marked out as the scholar type. So the scholar type uh, videos will delve deeper into the old Greek, and then the historian um, will be the historical context. Then we also move on Wednesday to the hard question, because in every chapter you have a hard question that is being challenged. And so I will give you my view on the hard question at hand for said chapter. And then Thursday, my favorite day, a day full of prayer. So when before Jesus was crucified, night before, he prayed. In Hebrew terms, the night before or the day before, it's the Thursday. He was crucified on a Friday and rose again on Sunday. So 3 days and 3 nights is a Hebrew idiom from the first century that explains 3 days has passed with in calculation of the day itself, next day, and the day after next day. So it's not how we count our days anymore, but it was at the time of Jesus. And so Friday is the last day of the content week for me because Jesus was crucified. So it's living in the name of Christ at this moment, but also how we can see it, the context of daily life. And so, looking at the hour, I will post this shortly or even a couple hours after I noticed that my explanation video is online. And so we will see how you react to this type of content week. So how my content weeks will look like. There is also partially content made for the second content year since I use repurpose. And so on TikTok we are a couple weeks further along, to be exact 13 weeks further along. So I started my TikTok on April 17, 2025. Now we are more than a year later. I also changed my content views. Um, so I don't do 7 separate videos. So now it will be 7 separate videos, but in the same context. So, for example, if I read Mark chapter 15 on Saturday, until the Friday, it will all be in the theme of Mark chapter 15. And that's my closing. So, in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.